Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our friend, Marc Portney! Hey. What's going on, Mark?
Shark Tank for nerds. Is that?
Has a ring to it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, Mark, thank you for coming out, man. This is really amazing. So, Mark actually came here to DC a couple of months ago, and I couldn't believe it because I'm actually a big fan of the show. I just went basically search startup on the TV, and the All American Maker showed up. I recorded it, and then I was hooked. So, like when I found out he was going to come in town, like we went to this HSN event, and I was like a groupie. I was like, oh my God, Mark! And he's like, calm down, calm down. And so here we are a couple months later to do a fireside chat. So thank you very much for coming out.
my pleasure.
Okay. So I just want to start out, we always start out on a personal note, because I think your story is really good. Because, we watch Shark Tank and you see how polished those guys are, right? Well, we had Damon John, by the way, in the past.
I know him well.
Oh, you do? Yeah. You seem a little bit more down-to-earth guy, so I like you. So, no comment.
I didn't say it.
Okay, I feel like your story. Where were you born? Where you raised? What did your parents do? Perhaps maybe what is the best piece of advice, a parent or an uncle, whatever, had given you. So let's just start with that. Start with you.
So I was born in Queens, New York. It's a suburb of New York City. It's one of the boroughs of New York City, for those of you who are not familiar with New York City. I know I don't have much of a New York accent, but you'll have to work through it. My father was an accountant, and my mother was a homemaker. And what else is?
What did your parents do, and maybe what's your first childhood hustle?
Oh God, so many.
Okay, what's the most memorable?
Well, when I was a kid, my grandmother used to come over, and this is, I guess we're talking 45 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She would come and she would give every grandkid a box of chocolate lollipops and a $5 bill. Now back then, a $5 bill was a $100 bill. So my grandmother would come, she would go. My brother, was a fat kid, and he would eat all his chocolate lollipops right off the bat. And my grandmother would leave, and he would come looking for my chocolate lollipops. Now, I really didn't care about the lollipops, so what I did was I held back. I knew my market, so to speak. And he was looking for the lollipops, and I told him $5. So every time my grandmother left, I would have $10, and my brother would have eaten both chocolate lollipops. So
that's awesome.
That's just the beginning. Even at 3 to 5 years old, it was always a hustle.
Right. No, I did something very similar to my brother. Traded the ruggedy dollar for a shiny coin, quarter, and he gave it to me. Gave me his dollar for the shiny coin.
Yeah,
so that worked too. I wanted to go because obviously a lot of people here, they know about your show, but they don't know the 20, 30 years before that, right? I mean, you built up a career on that. So let's talk about that. What were you doing before the show? And on the splash when the show starts, it's like, I guarantee you that one of the items in your household I was responsible for.
I have one item in your house that I was responsible for.
Yeah.
That was the opening to the show.
Yeah.
Basically, I was the largest vase supplier to 1-800-Flowers. So anybody who has ever ordered anything from 800-Flowers, it's in your house. And things like that. So I'm responsible for a lot of private label items. So because I started in the floral industry, which I guess we'll get to in a minute, I'm still to this day a private label manufacturer of all the things on the front of a Christmas wreath that doesn't die. So fake berries, pine cones, wire, the skeleton that makes the wreath, all of those things.
What's the snow made of?
What snow?
The snow on the wreath. They have the little
No, I'm not responsible for the snow. Okay, I lied. One snow and
okay.
But and that goes to every Costco. So we do 2.5, 3 million sets of berries and pine cones. It's stuff you would never think of, but yeah, we do it. We were the private label. We are the private label ornament manufacturer for some major big box stores, non-licensed. So anytime you go into a store and you see an ornament for 99 cents, it's a good, decent chance that it's ours.
And you know, obviously, so let me just ask this: like, what's kind of like the weirdest thing you've ever sold, like, you know, manufactured? Because, you know, there's a whole bunch of them, right? What's kind of the weirdest?
Well, it's not really what the weirdest is.
Yeah.
It's really my interaction with some
Yeah.
inventors,
Yeah.
and I have markportney.com, so I have probably between 40 and 50 submissions a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of those things get a little weird.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the weirdest one? What's the
Well, the
weirdest
average
submission?
one is I have 1,000 ideas in my head, and I just need 5 minutes of your time. So, first of all, it's going to be 5 days of my time if
Right,
he
right.
really has 1,000
Right,
ideas.
right.
But the other part is, if you've got 1,000 ideas, and I'll tell this to anyone, give me the best two. Just give me the best two. We'll make a few $1,000,000 bucks, then we can go home. But thousands,
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
those are the kind of things that
Yeah.
I just honestly I take a look at and I say I can't help you. I can't do anything. But we get them from all over the world, literally, because my show is renamed out of this country. It's not all American makers. It's called Invent It Rich, and then it's shown in Africa and Turkey and all these other countries. So then when I wake up in the morning, I get all these submissions from all over. I always know where the show's playing by all the submissions that come flying in. Even on the way here, I answered 2 or 3 of them from South Africa.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
100%.
Like so. I was going to ask, like, what's the most like far out country? So South Africa. What else?
Croatia.
Croatia. Well, Croatia is now on the
Turkey, Lebanon, Iraq. They're
Yeah.
from everywhere because in some of those countries they don't exactly have the freedom to express themselves. And by having an outlet, and if they have internet access, they see the show, Invent It Rich, and then they'll submit it. And then that gives them their voice. And a lot of them say the same thing. We don't have anybody like you over here that can listen. And I'm very, very careful. I respond to every single one of my messages myself. I look at every submission myself. And that's really important to me. I don't want to have a team of people looking that don't have my gut, my intuition. I can see a hero from a mile away.
And I want to back that up because when we had our application for this event, it was like, just give me the spreadsheet. And it was the raw spreadsheet. It wasn't like, I had to go in there and filter out. He just went in there, looked at it, and he's like, here are the companies I want them to pitch you. So he's very ground.
Yeah, but the reality is they were all great.
Yeah.
But the reality was that some of them wouldn't make a good pitch. There's some other things that I don't do.
Yeah.
I don't do apps because, in my opinion, you know what they say about opinions. I won't say it here, but apps is like a lottery ticket. There's 300,000 apps being made right now. So everybody wants the next Uber, everybody wants the next Twitter, everybody wants the next Instagram, but there's only a few of them. And if you only knew how many there were that are being made, the chances you got a better chance. Just play Mega Millions and call it a day.
Yeah. Now, so I wanted to go back to the weird pitches because on the show you had brain-controlled toy helicopter, a remote-controlled lawnmower, a first ever indestructible shoelace, airbag vest for motorcyclists, shopping list scanning device attached to your trash can. Like, I mean, these are companies that you said, hey, I like for them to pitch me, right?
Right. Well, I mean, the brain-controlled helicopter, I called bullshit right away.
Okay.
I'm sorry. First of all, either I'm not that bright, or I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. So, when Brook and Brian on the show tested it, it was extremely random in my opinion. So I sent them home.
What was your favorite? I mean, I know it's like kind of asking the father who's your favorite child.
Exactly.
But who's your most athletic child? Well, who's the most who's performed the best? How about that?
Well, I just about a year ago, I invested in this company, and it's called Quickfire, and it's a waterproof fire starter. We put it on HSN because I'm one of the all-star entrepreneurs on HSN. I don't know if you Googled me, but we're supposed to, search the world for the latest and greatest, and then bring it in front of 96 million homes, and that's what we do. And it's called Quickfire.
Yeah.
We put it on 25 times. We've sold out every single time. But that's not what I like the most about this. Because I'm an entrepreneurial addict and I can't stop. We actually give the opportunity to anybody. No college necessary, no high school necessary, no anything. You just need a decent personality and the ability to demonstrate something, and you can make yourself a very, very substantial six-figure living, and that's anyone. So we've set up this network of dealers, and basically all over the country. They're at every camping and outdoor show. They're at every state fair. And all you need to do, and very, very little money, just pay for the product and a couple of tables, and we'll come out, we'll train you. But it sounds like a pitch right now, but the reality is that we're giving a lot of people a lot of opportunity to become very, very comfortable where they may or may not have that opportunity. And that's what really gets me going. That's what I really love.
So that's interesting how you said, you don't care about the college education, you don't care about all these other things. It's just the story and the product. So I've had many VCs on Startup Grind, and they pretty much had said the same thing, as in, you got to have some pedigree, you got to be from Stanford, you got to blah, 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 blah. So I want to ask you this question. So how do you rank? So they always say, like, how would you put this in the order of importance? Team, product, market size?
Well, it's always the team. I mean, the first thing I look at when anybody pitches me, I look at the entrepreneur. I look at the inventor, because that's who I'm going to get, quote unquote, married to. Without that, I don't care what. You can give me $1 for 10 cents. I don't care, because it will turn my life into a misery. And problems I have, I'm looking for solutions. I'm not looking for problems. And these type of people bring me problems. I'm not, so forget about market size, forget about product even. Product is secondary to me behind the inventor, believe it or not. It sounds like bullshit, but it's really not.
So what are the traits? What are the traits you look for in the entrepreneur? I mean, are you looking for like a really hard upbringing, or like a grind, or like some grit? What are you looking for in the entrepreneur?
One word: passion. That's what I'm looking for. I want somebody that pops out of bed every morning and lives and eats and breathes their item. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I can sell you that microphone with passion and without, and you would never buy that microphone without passion. And the bottom line is, when we went to HSN and they started training us, and they train all the entrepreneurs when they come on, and the first thing they tell you is smile, not creepy smile, regular smile. You know what I mean? So, but because some guys get up there and they're like, hi, ho. No, that's not what I mean. So passion, and everybody wants to be involved with somebody that's happy. Nobody wants to be involved with a misery, okay? Because raise your hand who wants to be involved with a misery. That's what I thought. So I mean, it just makes perfect sense. It just makes perfect sense. And I'm not shy, so I'm not embarrassed to tell a guy, your item's great, but you're not for me. And I'll do it in the flesh. Don't care.
So if you guys are on Twitter, #StartupGrind at Marc Portney, no? Marc Portney, okay, because I think your son did that. Thank God for Jason, yeah. Okay, so Marc Portney.
Is it at Marc Portney?
Yeah, okay.
Marc Portney with a C, okay.
Yeah, C, all right.
And the website is markportney.com. Right? Can I?
Yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. So there's this, and it's kind of funny how I'm like, Startup Grind's from the Valley, and it's like, the problem with the Valley is that they're so, what's the word? Just like sterile, and it's like the same old. And so I kind of, let's just do this like little translation thing, right? Like, so I want to take like a Silicon Valley term and sort of like, what is your opinion about that? So one thing was what I really like what you had said when you went to an elementary school and kids were pitching their ideas to you,
Right.
and you had asked them, and this is the topic. It's more of the right person solving the problem, right? So the founder market, they call it founder market fit, like the founder. And you had asked, what personal experience prompted you to design your invention? So my question is like, how important is it to you that an entrepreneur is solving their own problem, and then now it's going to manifest it in the product? Is that component important, or they don't have to experience?
It's important. So I go to this elementary school because if they call me and they have an interest, they just had a science fair the week before. I'll come. I use my own dime. I don't care. I just want to pitch the kids wanted to ask me questions. Everybody got one. They all wrote them down. But it's funny because you go and the kids are like third grade to sixth grade. So you're asking for, you're expecting nothing. I'm expecting nothing.
Yeah.
But the questions were like, how many dogs do you have? Fair enough. I have 3. Wow. And I have 3 cats too. You do? So that was my experience. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
but anyway, to get back to your point, one of the kids came up and he was able to pitch me a robot that set the table for you. So I said to the audience, watch this. Does your mother make you set the table? He goes, yeah. How did you know? I said, I don't know. Lucky guess. So when it comes to personal experience, the kid was miserable. He hated setting the table, so he was going to invent this robot that set the table. And I said, it's the greatest invention I've ever seen. Can you send me one when you make it? And he was like, absolutely. But that was an example of somebody solving a personal problem. A lot of inventions come from, let's say, a plumber. So a plumber is doing pipes and he's in it every single day. And then he says, well, nobody knows how to twist the elbow. Or I don't know. I'm the least handy guy on the planet, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. But, when they see a problem and then they're going to fix that problem, and if they have it, then there's a million other plumbers or homeowners in certain cases that have that same problem. So first, somebody who has the problem firsthand is it's good. It's not imperative though. I mean, I'm in a lot of things. I don't start fires.
Yeah, I mean, well, so like entrepreneurs solving their own problems, they're going to be faced with a lot of adversity and failures. And so, how important is failure in your opinion? Like, this is what I feel like is so overused in the Valley. Like, oh, failure. Yeah, we need to learn from failure. We agree, but there's too much failure.
That's probably a guy who hasn't failed too many times.
Okay, so that's my question. So,
but I'm the king of failure.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many. You got to kiss a lot of frogs to get that prince. And I'm basically fearless. I don't care about You could come up with 20 reasons why not to do something. I want to discuss the 1 or 2 reasons why you can do something. And that's way more important to me. I mean, I've met people and, they basically have a problem for every solution. And we've all met people like that, well, I'm going to bend down and have a sip of water. No, you can't. You'll fall off the chair. Well, let's try.
Right.
And so it's important to fail because you never know, you never know what it feels like. And that was one of my, I don't know if that's going to be a question, but that was one of my biggest circumstances that led me to never want to go back there again.
Okay. So the other, because I want to save some time for the pitches because I feel like it's probably going to take some time. Before I do that, just wanted to ask about megatrends. Are there like things that you feel like it's kind of like not here, but it's going to happen, and now you're looking for those types of products, companies? I mean, like, the mind control drone.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I mean, I know you're going to look for some fancy pants, educational answer or something like that. But the reality is, I'm 56 years old. I'm right on the tail end of the baby boomers, and we're exploding. Baby boomers are getting older, and anything, if you just think about it logically, you don't have to do the Harvard studies or anything like that. We're all getting older together, and the bottom line is the desire and the need for these type of items. So we're all going to need elder care. We're all going to crap in our pants. We're all going to need adult diapers, you know. And the bottom line is, anything that fits along that trend, you know, people think that when you say trend, they're thinking of mega spinners or silly bands, or those are anomalies. They do happen, but you can't make your item on the basis of praying and hoping that it becomes it may, but you have no control over that, and nobody's figured out that secret sauce yet. Nobody, because if I could figure it out, I'd only have mega hits, and I wouldn't be kissing frogs. So you know, that's basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because when you said that, like, so I don't know if you heard Alec Ross. He's like a writer, and he had written a book called The Future of Industries, and he actually talked about that. Like, you know, as any companies in megatrends toward the older generation, they're aging. So then he mentioned robotics and genetic coding. You know, that doesn't.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any
No,
idea.
you don't care about that? Okay, got it. All right. Okay, so I mean, basically, you want to see a product that kind of makes sense. I mean, when I watch the show, it's like when you see somebody pitch it, you're like, that makes total sense.
Right.
It's like it doesn't take
A rocket science.
a rocket science to figure that out.
No,
It's like,
not at
wow,
all.
like either you got it or you don't. It's like, I mean, it's so easy to understand the products that you give money to.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. My mother-in-law, she does very, very well in the stock market, right? So I'm like, Doris, how are you doing so well? She says, it's real simple. If I put Smucker's jelly on my toast, I buy Smucker's. I was like, that's interesting. If I bleach my clothes with Clorox, I buy it. And she's done very, very well. Maybe she's just lucky, but the story's good. And so it goes right back to what you were talking about. You know?
Okay, so what is Marc Portney in the future? Where do you see yourself a year from now? Next question is 5 years. So what do you see yourself in a year from now?
Well, I just bought into a new website, and it's called coachmyidea.com. There is no place on planet Earth where you can go from soup to nuts as a startup or as an entrepreneur. I couldn't. I mean, I was busy, you know, I was taking them punches into the face and had nobody to turn to. You just kind of weasel your way through. But with this website, we are anything you need. From if you need something patented, where can you go? What can you do? If you need, I mean, everything and anything. Product design, product development. How many times have you gotten down the road and you go, oh my God, product packaging. I need a product packaging expert. How do you do that? So we're making this website. We're probably going to launch it in the third quarter of this year. And it's called Coach My Idea. I got some really big names behind it. And I want to help everybody out there by getting everybody to go to Coach My Idea and having a place for everybody to go where they could actually get the help that they need and continue to get the help. And you can get a little help or you can get a lot of help. So in a year from now, I'm going to be up to my eyeballs in coachmyidea.com.
Is that related to the Global Infrastructure Partners?
Yes.
Okay, so that's because that's
Part of my
that's what you're doing.
investments,
Okay, got it. So
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
Still
Same
doing,
thing?
Still doing the same thing. I love what I do.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't love what you do, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's me. I pop out of bed every morning at 5 o'clock. I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to start swinging. I answer all my emails from China and overseas in the morning,
Right.
Because they're all waiting for me because I
Right.
got to get a little sleep. And then right from there, it's off we go. You know, that's kind of how it works.
So before we're going to open up the pitches, I want to
Sure.
have one last question.
Sure.
And then after the pitches, I have one last question, another last question.
So you have
Okay?
two last questions.
Two last questions.
Okay.
Yeah, not that you're counting, right?
Got it.
'Cause,
No, so
So if you could rewind time, say 20 years ago, and then you're sitting in the audience listening to a badass entrepreneur, what would the best piece of advice you would have given yourself? You know, if you're that person in the audience, what would be the best piece of advice you would have given
Well, it's,
yourself 20
I
years ago?
mean, well, first thing that comes to mind is never forget where you come from. I have entrepreneurs who are humble as can be, and then they sell 4 units, and all of a sudden they're the CEO of, you know, 4 hot dogs and a bun, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, people get caught up with themselves. People think who they are. I never, I answer my phone every day. I don't blow off things. I take all my emails myself. I actually followed that advice. I got another piece of advice would be don't fall in love with the merchandise. I know it's your baby. I know it's unbelievable, but my job on national television is to tell you that your baby is ugly. It's got buck teeth. And the bottom line is, people hate that shit.
Yeah.
They just hate that. But the reality is, if you take a step back and use your head and your mind, and you'll see. You make a lot better decisions when you're not tied to the product so tight. And be fearless. Who cares? What's going to happen? Come on, really think about it. Why are you scared? Scared of what? It's all bullshit. Think about it.
It's on YouTube, so we're fine.
What are you afraid of? Like, think about what can happen. You fall on your ass. I've done it 1,000 times. I'm still here. Think about that. That I would give myself. Because I was always sweating every little thing, every tiny little thing. Today at 56, I sweat nothing. And it has nothing to do with money. I sweat nothing. When I come into a deal, I look at it, I see what it is. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. If we're not, we're not. Yes means yes. No means no. It's really, really simple stuff. Really simple.
There was a lot of tweetable moments there. Word of advice, never.
Here's one more.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
You know what an expert is? Somebody that's done it once before. And think about that for a minute. Because whenever you're not doing something and you do it for the first time, oh my God, it's horrible. But you know what? If you've done it once before and it happens again, you're like, oh, that's a number 7. No problem. I can handle that. And that's what, and all these experts who charge you all kinds of money for nonsense, that's an expert is somebody that's done it once before. So after you do your pitch and you have a favorable response, you're an expert. Take it from me. How about tweeting that?
Mofo. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna do the pitch. Okay, so our first company is Lunch Square.
Thank you. Good evening, Mark. Good evening, everybody at Startup Grind. My name is Kareem, and I'm the founder of Lunch Squares. What I'm bringing to you are those containers that go in the oven, they go in the microwave, they're collapsible, go in the freezer. So basically, you are baking in them, you can store them, and then you can pack them in the backpack. So for kids, this is a solution, the alternative to boring sandwiches or processed lunch like these.
Can we move this?
Basically sodium.
Huh? Your third. Okay.
My wife
Can we
never
move
let
this?
my
Okay.
kids have that.
Oh, good for you.
I did.
You're gonna be second. Third.
If I had a nickel for every time I said, don't tell mom, I'd be rich. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing, is that we can all have some pizza, like there, some Lunchables once in a while, but we need a good foundation for our kids. We need them to have a nutritious diet and something that's easy for parents to make over and over again. So there are about 11 million kids who are packing their lunch and bringing it to school. So that's a giant market. And their parents are turning to easy solutions. So I want to make nutrition accessible to everybody. I started off my company because I became a single mom, and my daughter was super young, and I was juggling so many things at one time. So sometimes, I think you said it, when you hit a low, that's when you have your best ideas. And that's what happened to me, and that's what drove me. So I created the lunch kits, so that's the heart of it, the containers. But because they're portion controlled, I created recipes with a nutritionist. I created some accessories, like the pen, so you can actually write and erase, and some stickers, so that when you have your the parents writing little lunch notes, they can put it directly on the container.
10 seconds.
And so that's the essence. It's easy, healthy, eco-friendly. You reduce waste because it's made out of silicone. It's durable, it's safe, and it's fun. So that's what I'm pitching to you. We raised a successful Kickstarter campaign, and we are on to the next thing, and hopefully you're part of it.
How much did you raise on Kickstarter?
$21,000.
What was your goal?
20,000.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank
There you go.
And I know some of you supported it, so thank you very much. Thanks for this opportunity. And
Okay.
happy to answer questions.
Awesome.
Hi.
So the set contains 3?
The set contains 3, so we can make them in advance.
And there are 3 of the same size?
3 of the same size, but if you've noticed, because they're collapsible, they're actually 2 sizes. So when I'm marketing to families, I'm saying this is for your toddler size, and this is for your teenager, right? And the recipes are tailored to that.
And how much would, what do you see this? See, I'm not going to get into cost and all that stuff because I know I could crush the cost. I'm not worried about that. What would this 3-piece set retail for?
So it retails for $19.99 because it comes also with the stickers and the recipes. And through my website, you can get more recipes and the pen too. So it's pretty competitive.
Is there anything like this out? Like, what's the difference between this and Tupperware?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked.
I do what I can.
These are oven friendly. If you try to put your plastic Tupperware in the oven, it's gone. So I know you could also put your glass in the oven, but that's hard for kids to carry
Okay,
around.
so what's the dream? Tell me the dream.
The dream is 5 years from now, I have those not only marketed to kids and families, I have them marketed to adults. So when you have your favorite restaurant with your favorite chef, and you want to make single portion controlled, let's say your meatloaf from Founders and Farmers, right? That's around the corner. It's a great restaurant, and I can work with
Do you want me to put this? I can put this onto the.
in the containers.
I can put another. I can get another table if you want.
Outside, but from chefs all around the country, the world.
Is this patented? Is it pending? Or is it?
What would that do? Plus that one.
What's really novel is the solution. That's stickers, the recipes that are made
So 2 of them.
for it. There are some containers that are made out of silicone. That's why I think a patent might be difficult. But they don't have all the features of collapsible, this size, with the recipes. So I really do think I'm bringing something unique, but maybe challenging on the patent side.
Are you? Where are you manufacturing this?
We're manufacturing in China.
Okay, that's great. Well, it's a great item. I mean, if you want, I mean, you pitched it for a reason. So if I can give you some legitimate feedback, I think the three packets is the item. I think the recipes and the pen is window dressing because I could just go and I'm a cheap bastard. So I would go and I would get a white erase marker and I would just do it myself. The stickers are cute, but only cute for a little while. So I think that this is your item, and I think you should focus. Nobody gives a shit about the chef with the meatloaf. And I mean, I'm just being real. If you want real advice and real feedback, that's what I give. But I love the item. I think the item itself is fantastic. I can actually see this on DR television. As an infomercial, set of 3 for $19.99, but wait, there's more. We'll give you a second set for free. Just pay separate charges. I mean, stuff like that. It is conducive to that, and I do have a lot of contacts in that area, legitimate guys. But that's my opinion, and I love the item. I think you've done a great job, and congratulations on the Kickstarter. It's awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Okay. Next is soap sleeve. Haley. What's your last name?
Sterling.
Sterling.
Hello.
Hi. I'm very nervous. I'm going to read
Don't get
reading.
nervous. It only hurts for a minute. Can I hold the box while you pitch?
Okay. Can you hold this?
No, this box.
This one? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So just remember to.
Off a pitch, man. Come on, man. Let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
So-
What do you
so
have?
2 minutes?
Forget the
Okay.
list.
Okay, here we go.
Stop reading.
Okay. Hello, my name is Haley.
Did you read that?
No.
You know you did. Okay. What do you have? Stop. Put that away. Come on. Stop.
There we go.
Stop.
There you go.
Relax.
There you go. Relax. Relax.
So you've got this. What is this called?
Not so cute.
Soap sleeve. What does it do?
And it is a bathing product
Uh huh.
that combines luxury, thrift, and utility.
Uh-huh.
And Brian said you like backstories, and so my inspiration was when I was young, growing up, my best friend was my German great-grandmother Katerina.
Mm-hmm.
And she would always teach me these great European values of thrift and utility and use up everything and don't waste.
Mm-hmm.
So also, my son, when he was young, he played travel hockey, so we stayed at a lot of hotels on the weekends, and it came me a lot of those tiny little hotel soaps,
So do I.
which I thought we always wasted. And I thought, well, we're going to do something about that. So I decided, and also regarding bathing, I never liked the terry cloth, face cloth, because they don't really, they're soggy, they don't get you really, really clean.
Right.
And then these plastic poofs, mesh poofs,
Yeah.
they feel like plastic against, at least for me,
Right.
skin.
So why would my wife want one of these? What's so great about it?
These, well, you use up all your soap, every little bit, and you can even incorporate the soap of any size. And then this fabric that I had my inspiration from, I found a little raw rectangle square at a store, and I thought, well, geez, what if you could create a beautiful pattern out of it?
Mm-hmm.
And so for a while, I stayed up at night and called these different factories in China. I'm not Chinese, I only speak English.
I didn't say that.
She's Korean.
You said that. I didn't say that.
So I batted zero, and once I finally got this woman who spoke a little English, and I asked her, I said, could you put a design on this fabric? First of all, I did look all through the U.S., and probably way beyond 2 minutes, sorry. And I could not find a manufacturer. All the textiles went overseas. So I did get the raw fabric from there and sent her maybe 10 designs, and they were able to do it. And I sent money thinking I'd never see it again. But sure enough, I did get the fabric, so it inspired me. So then I did a lot of prototypes to come up with a system where I didn't have to use fasteners. And then I incorporated, I wanted it to be like design, have a fluid, so I could use this S-curve. So that design, I'll show you, it actually helps contain the soap.
So she's going to demo. She'll demo it.
There you go.
So you want to demo?
Oh, okay.
So let's demo it.
So, and I made multiple pockets so you can customize it. So it's this tri-roll. It's easier normally.
That's okay. Don't be nervous.
And then you just take your bar of soap and you insert it. Okay. It doesn't fall out.
Great.
And it's a quick, fast, high lather.
You're actually wetting it?
I'm
Okay, great.
So when you're in the shower and you actually bathe with it, I don't know if you can see that photograph way over on the.
I do. I see it.
Okay, that's my daughter
Okay.
using it.
That's TMI. Okay.
Oh, she's got a baby tonight.
Okay. Thanks.
So here, it's a fast.
That's great. It's awesome.
And it's exfoliating.
Is it patented?
Yes, it is. I have
Really?
a utility patent.
Is it issued? Or is it pending?
No.
It's
Done.
pending. It's
June
issued.
the 17th. Yes, I have a number.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It was a journey.
Nice.
I'm still paying for it.
It's always a journey. It's always a journey. So what would I pay for this in the store?
So, my son, my college-age son, helped me, and he started an Amazon storefront. I haven't gone live to market yet.
Okay.
But it's almost been a year, so-called market validation. So I have that, and so the price is $24.
$24.99.
What's the rating? What's the ratings you have?
Just under 5
Nice.
stars, right? So like,
That's great.
because what I'm learning is there's always one person that wants to be heard, will say something really.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then when you click on them, they can
have a
say
whole-
anything bad about it. It's unreal when you click on them,
It is.
and they screw up your stars. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear you. It's all
No,
good.
And then I feel bad. That's.
Don't feel bad. So I think $24.99 is a little pricey. I think the magic price for this is $19.99. I don't know what your costing is, but you know that just comes from economies of scale. So if you're paying $10 for this and you're selling it for $19.99, fantastic. I'm just using fake numbers right now, except for the $19.99. But if you make this in bulk, you'll get what's known as economies of scale, and we can get it down to $2, and then you can make a decision. You want to run away with a boatload of money, or do you want to sell it for $9.99 and sell 10 million of them? So those are all the decisions that are going to come your way. I like it. I think it's fantastic. The other problem, which is a problem I've had many, many times, is that I don't know what this is on the shelf at Bed Bath & Beyond. Can anybody tell me what this is at a shelf? So we need some packaging work, and but the item itself, fantastic. I mean, I see this, but it kind of looks like a scarf. I don't know, like I'm the cheapest guy in the world. I embarrass my family. I steal all the hotel soaps. I got so many that I sent them to Iraq. I fly 200,000 miles a year, and I stay probably 200 nights in a hotel like tonight, and I will steal the soaps. So I feel you on the soaps. And I mean, basically, that's kind of my feedback. I like the item, but you need some packaging work so that the consumer knows within the first 5 seconds, because all you have is 5 seconds, because if she doesn't know or he doesn't know what it is, they're walking on by. And, you know, at $24.99, I just don't think it's, I think it's a $19.99 tops. But it's a great item. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Great. All right. All right. Let's go put this over here. All right. So do we just move this?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hold on just a
My name is
minute.
Emiliano.
Emilio, hold on. All
Nice to meet
right.
you.
Okay. So the next one is Emilio of Number One Grill.
So my name is Emiliano and I am the founder and inventor of the number one grill. I was born in Italy and I've been living in the United States since the age of 18. Being an Italian, I always had a passion for cooking. For that reason, I've been working in different restaurants around the country. In 2013, I had this amazing idea, and I've been working so hard to bring it to life. Sorry.
See, that's what happens when you when you memorize.
No.
Open it up and show me what it does.
So this grill is the first grill that unites tradition and cooking method from all around the world.
Why is it number one? Can you answer me that
One
question?
is a single unity, and this grill unites different tradition and cooking method from all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from the North American tradition with the slow cooking, smoking, and grilling by using charcoal and wood. With a single rotation, you'll be able to experience. Sorry. It takes a little time to do the rotation.
It's great. It's great.
Okay. With a single rotation, you'll be able to experience Central and South America, all the way to Asia and India on your favorite flat top. With auto rotation, yeah, it's a grill.
Nice.
With auto rotation, we combine tradition between grilling and the flat top. So now it becomes a gas grill and it becomes a flat top. With auto rotation, speed and performance on your favorite gas grill. So this grill combines all the different tradition and cooking method from all around the world.
Okay.
You can cook anything, you can sear, you can make a pizza. So on this part right here was designed on the flat top. This is on the flat top, you can actually, there's an insert that goes right here and radiates the heat, and you can cook pizza on top.
Listen, if you say you can make a pizza, I believe you. Italy, hello.
Hello, yes.
So let me ask you some questions. So I'm not 100% clear. Can you cook charcoal in
Yes.
it? And it's also gas.
Yes. So the gas is always available.
Okay.
There's an internal gas burner right here in the center.
Mm-hmm.
The grill can rotate to grill the gas burner on,
Uh-huh.
so you don't have to turn it off. The charcoal, as this is actually for the charcoal. There's a little Drumm system. I'm gonna remove myself to put that too. You can open it and add charcoal into it.
Nice.
Now, yes, the internal burner actually can ignite the charcoal, so you don't have to put any liquid or, you know,
What does it have? What does it have?
So the gas, there's a little holes right here.
Yeah.
The perforation is being made for the charcoal too, so the gas burner can ignite the charcoal as well.
No, you got to use quick fire.
You can use wood fire. You can use wood as well.
Got to use quick fire.
Yeah. Oh, quick fire. Okay.
What Oh, how much is this grill?
So it will retail for $26.95.
$26.95.
Yes.
Okay. And is this a prototype or are they built?
No. We already have around 27 units sold in the United States. We're testing the market. We're having people testing and see the feedback, what they think. This is I have a unit that I've been cooking more than a year and a half. But we're ready for the market, so we're ready for manufacturing. We already have the manufacturing in place.
Okay.
Everything is set up, boxes.
Where are you going to manufacture it?
The shell is made in China.
Okay.
All the components, they're here US made.
Okay.
The reason why, because I couldn't ship this to China, they will, you know.
The freight will kill you.
No, but also it's a patent, so
It's patented?
Yes.
Okay, you just
It's
don't
patented
know.
here in North America and it's pending in Europe, in EU.
But if you had the right contacts, you'd manufacture it in China?
Yes.
Okay. I think $26.95 is very expensive for the grill. I don't think anybody in the audience would be jumping at $26.95. I can help you with your research. The name is a little rough because number one grill doesn't mean anything. Did you bump off the number two grill? I mean, like what? It doesn't mean, like, I think the name should encompass, because it's so clever and it's such a great grill, I think that the name should describe what it does.
Oh, sorry. So the name of the company is Number One Grills.
Yeah.
The grill is Ambassador 5 in 1. So it's a functionality in one.
What's ambassador mean? Like, nothing. Okay. Okay.
I guess I need a little help.
No, I mean, it's just, it's just feedback, you know?
Yes, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and, I mean, I do own the brand Quickfire.
Okay.
I can definitely see this, can it be shipped on Amazon, you think?
Yes.
You do?
It comes in 2 boxes.
Okay.
It's
How much does it to ship?
well, it's a little bit pricey, but all the shipping is like $270 if you ship.
What does it weigh? What are the two?
240 pounds.
So you got 120-pound boxes, 2 of them?
Yeah. We did it below 150 so we can keep it the weight.
So what's the dream? You want to be the grill king? What do you want to be?
I want to sell it worldwide, of course, you know.
Yeah, let's start with the United States. Let's start small with the United States.
It's only 20 million units per year.
Yeah, it's no big
Only
deal.
20 million units per
I
year.
love that.
That's
I love that. I mean, if you can conquer the U.S., you wouldn't be worrying about. But okay, I get it. But what's the master plan in your mind?
To become the new grill of the market. Like, you know, there's no grill that actually gives you so many ability or switch from one application to another one. And most of the grill that you find in the market, they all want just a grill or gas grill.
Right, so there's a grill out there called,
the new idea.
like, there's a grill out there called Traeger, and it has pellets, and it feeds the grill with different flavors and all that. And if you have a Traeger, you're the coolest guy on the block, right? And then they have the big green egg, which is pricey like this, but people expect to pay because of the marketing. So do you want to be in every home? Do you want to be in the 1%'s home? Do you want to be in...
I want to be in every home, of course.
You want to be in every home?
Yes.
Right,
The
okay.
idea is to give people option to convert. See, most of the Americans, they buy 2 to 3 grill. They don't have one grill, they have 2 or 3.
And a smoker, right.
And a smoker. They have
Yeah.
a smoker, they have a grill. Well, why buying 3 if you can buy just one unit? They can give you even more than what you already have.
I agree with you.
You know, and you have a grill.
But you have to get the price down, because
Well,
$26.95, it's not going to do it, but
What do you think the best price would be, like range price?
$14.99.
You gotta get it below a pair of Gucci shoes, man.
I
No,
got
I mean, and I'm being generous as hell.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, no.
with $14.99, but do you want to be in Home Depot? Do you want to be in? Oh, you do. So
Has to
you
be
know,
$300.
Go take a walk. Go take a
No, no,
walk.
I don't know.
You walk through there.
Yes.
You didn't see any 26.95s in there.
No,
Even Weber. I mean, and they're a major name. But I mean, but if you mass produce this thing and we can send the griddle over to China, which I have 25 years experience in China, I mean, they came to my daughter's wedding, so they're not gonna screw me, you know?
If
So
we can bring the price and sell it for $14.99, that's my dream, like to bring it to really low.
That's what we may be able to brand it, we may be able to make it the quick fire grill if you
Yeah.
can stand it.
Quick fire right in here, right?
I know, yeah. Go on quickfire.world, you'll see it's amazing.
Okay.
It's
All right.
really amazing stuff, not because I own it, just because it really is an unbelievable product. But, I mean, maybe we could do a branding play.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, great.
Congratulations. Is it happening?
All right, we got one last company, and this one's a notable because he pitched it to him. And he's like, Adam. So I was like, okay. So the next one is Yumbu. Yumbu. And Mike, do you need a table here? We're good.
Sure.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? I promise you there's no memorization tonight because this isn't all, so it actually isn't scary.
You can also introduce me. Yes, please.
This is Joe Fallon, the CEO and co-founder of Yahoo, and I'm Mike Wachowski, I'm the head of sales. So our company Yahoo, really, imagine if you're in a coffee shop, right? And you don't have your credit card and you want to pay. We offer a way where customers and brick and mortar merchants can pay just with their fingerprint. No credit card, no apps, no phones, no nothing. The way it works, when you go into a coffee shop and you walk in, the beauty about Yahoo is that it lays on the counter. You can sign up by hitting sign up, swipe your credit card, you put your cell phone in and a 4-digit PIN, and you're in the club. In fact, after you do that, after you swipe your credit card the first time, you don't need your credit card ever again. I better get that one done. My wife will get me in trouble.
So you can basically be naked and pay. So literally all you need is you. You associate your card with your fingerprint. Your card actually goes over to our payment processor, WorldPay. So we actually had to pitch them and convince them that this was a good idea before pitching to anyone else. The three markets that we're in are actually quick serve is one. So in coffee shops, it's about linking payment to rewards. We're actually in 20 locations, coffee shops, fast casual, fast food, where you can pay with your fingerprint, earn rewards at the same time. We're in places like co-working spaces, so the alley, we'd love to work with you. We already work with make offices, sorry, it's an evil term here now. We have a self-serve terminal where you can grab a sandwich, grab a Coke, put your fingerprint down, just pay naked, and go. We're actually trademarking that term too. And then the third main vertical that we're in, we call it membership.
10 seconds.
There's different permutations of that. We're actually at the Reston Zoo. If you go there, we digitize people's season pass holders through their fingerprint, pay around the park, pay for a churro for your kid with your fingerprint.
5 seconds.
Oh, and then we're in a fitness market too. So we have a big deal coming out with a known software company in the gym space. And so there you have entry with your fingerprint, pay for stuff with your fingerprint, you can redeem your personal training session with your fingerprint. We've raised $1.2 million, we're raising another $500,000. We'd love for you to get that.
Okay, so besides paying naked, this is this is an updated version of Square, basically. True.
So this is the terminal. As you do POS integrations, we have one side of the Rebel. You can just add a dongle to a POS system. So it's a form factor and a way of paying. So it's an experience too. So in each of the different verticals, there's a slightly different value prop. So if you're in quick serve, it's about payment linked to rewards. So it's speed, it's security, it's the reward benefit. We monetize that data and sell it back to the merchants in the form of here's what your customers are spending, and you can directly market to them. You can capture phone number as well.
Well, here's why I showed interest in it. With Quickfire, we do consumer shows. So in other words, anything from a state fair to an RV show, and we use Square. And we put a few $1 million a year through Square. And basically, it's just to me, it seems like basically a no-brainer. You know, and then we can sell that to the dealers that we do business with. We do over 250 shows a year. Yeah, I mean, and they're all, and we only have about 60 dealers right now. By year's end, we'll have 100. So that's 100 times 4. You're probably talking about 400 shows simultaneously. One of the barriers to entry, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and this is kind of against my rule. It's not really an app though. It's a cool idea. It's not an app, but the reality is that, you know, the teaching them to register their fingerprints. Go ahead.
That's a great point. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to do rewards. So we have 2 costs of customer acquisition. We have the merchant cost of acquisition, that's a real cost, and the customer cost. So if at least in quick serve locations you add rewards, you just put a poster up, say spend $55, get $5 back. People, especially at places where you have a stationary point of sale, and like a coffee shop where people tend to go to the same place all the time, they sign up for droves. So the second place we went to was a coffee shop. We signed up about 700 people.
It's good.
In the first week.
That's awesome.
People loved it.
And the beauty about Yambu, the reason why I joined, because the rewards programs integrate with payments, because I know I go use a coffee shop in my town and it's over. And they give me a piece of paper every time I go in there, and I just throw it out. I'm not gonna go online and redeem a QR code or something.
Right.
So when you reach a certain threshold in Yambu, say $55, the screen lights up and says you have a reward. You just click yes. The customer doesn't have to remember, and the cashier doesn't have to remember to give you a punch card, or tell you, hey, go online and fill this out. You just pay, get rewards. It's extremely simple.
So 2 questions. Yambu, how do they make money? You charge a percentage like Square does? Same exact model?
Go ahead.
Yes. So basically, we work with 2 SKU contracts. It's a Yambu contract and a WorldPay contract. WorldPay is the processor. So we try to match their rate as close as possible. Rate's kind of a sideshow for us. We really don't make money off processing. So we try to match their rate as best we can. They sign a contract with us. They pay a monthly platform fee and a device fee. So for instance, in the quick serve market, it's $99 a month plus $25 to lease the device per month. In the membership, it's a little bit higher because we're doing a little bit more. It's around $250 a month on average. And the self-serve vertical, like take the owl here, is $125 a month and $25 lease.
I'll just add to that we will become a registered payment facilitator at one point. So right now, I don't know what this rate, but we pay a buy rate of 3 basis points and 3 cents a transaction. So we can lower that rate over time and also increase the processing that we charge and become a registered payment facilitator. We just have to take underwriting risk and pricing risk.
And
we definitely want to do.
And what does Yambu mean?
It's a great question. It's absolutely meaningless. We wanted a 2-syllable word that could be verbified with a .com available. And we wanted it to sound young and techy, and our chief strategy officer, who is still paid $0, despite the fact that we raised $1.2 million, came up with it, and we thought it was great.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's a great concept. I love it. It's clever, and I hope it takes off. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Okay, great. Thank you.
here you go.
There you go. Got a card? Okay.
If you want to.
Okay. All right. So, Mark, I have we're going to wrap up the events here, but really quick, I wanted to get your feedback. What did you?
Thank you.
What did you like? What was your favorite one? Because I have one more questions left, or one more question.
Favorite?
Yeah.
Well,
What's your favorite?
one? They're all,
They're all good.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to say they're
they're all
all good. That's a little horseshit. But they, different ones have different problems and solutions that can be done. I think that, believe it or not, I think the soap thing has a lot of potential. I think the lunchbox. I think if you focus more on the lunchbox and a little less on all the accoutrements, let's focus on what it is. I like it. I think it can blow up, but if it blows up big and you're not patented or at least a little bit protected, I'm afraid that you're going to be at a bit of a risk, and I would hate to see that. But some sort of protection. maybe trademark a name, something, anything, just try it, you know. And for $500 you could do a knockout search and see what's going on. But I think there's big potential in that. I'm just afraid that when there is big potential, the sharks out there, not Shark Tank, I didn't say anything bad. I just mean the sharks out there that are swimming will jump all over it, and they have a lot of money, and I'd hate to see that happen to you, because it's not right. But the Yambu, I think it's fantastic. If they even get a little bit of traction, they're going to be two very rich guys. And the grill I love because of the marketing play. The other thing that you're missing is the square part of the shows, the state fairs, the RV shows, all of that. Every single booth, there's hundreds and hundreds, thousands at some of them. They have 14 million people in 30 days coming through. It is absolutely insane. If you get a small sliver of that, and I hate when people do that to me, but if you have a small sliver of that, I mean, think about that. And you didn't even mention it in the potential marketplaces. I think it's a killer avenue, and I live it every single day. So, I mean, so basically, there was positive in everything that I saw tonight, and the negatives I just spoke to each person on their own. So I hope I did.
Well, we really appreciate it. And we love the fact that we saw you in action and we got some real live feedback. So we appreciate that.
My pleasure.
One last question, and we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
So it's probably the most important question we always ask all of our speakers.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Good. Who's your favorite superhero and why?
Well, he's a superhero to me. About 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to have dinner with Evander Holyfield. And he is just such a nice person. He's so real, he's so regular. And I'm a boxing fanatic because my family was in boxing a long time ago. And he's just such a nice person, but at the same time, everybody told him, you can't beat Mike Tyson. You can't beat Mike Tyson. And what he did was he ended up beating Mike Tyson, and he's still humble, and he's just an awesome guy. We had a wonderful dinner together, and I would definitely call him out as one of my heroes for sure.
So obviously you told me that, and actually there was no bookstore that had this, so I had to order it on Amazon Prime. So there's Evander Holyfield, Start Grinding, Becoming Holyfield. So
wow,
that's
you
it.
so much.
Thank you so much for coming out, Mark.
Thank you.
And